Hey everybody, DeShadara back after over a year of my farewell address where I publicly announced the end of me practicing my pagan faith as well as doing my video uploads. Since then, I've been going through a lot of introspection and honestly missing the faith since I stopped practicing, and I've been feeling a big desire to return yet again. I spent a lot of time fighting myself over that desire to come back, and memories coming back from the simplest things like walking near a river or seeing wooded areas or even going outside at night and seeing the moon. Like these small little memory caches are like lading throughout my day every day, things that I can't avoid. And it's to be expected, being that 4 years ago, I made paganism a huge part of my life, whether it was praying or going out and praying in the woods or like even working out. I made paganism part of my daily practice every single day. You know, with that, it's only a matter of time. You can only resist the pull for so long before you honestly have to sit yourself down and you have to reflect on your actions, your desires, and the reasoning for coming back. Because religion for me is very important. It's a big part of who I am, and there aren't many things that I find a lot more annoying than constantly pinging back and forth from one faith to another. First you're this faith, then you're pagan, then you're a different faith, then you're something else. There needs to be that clarity and that consistency with it, because otherwise you risk losing your self-credibility and you destabilize your life going from one faith to another, since they all have different rules, practices, and ways that you should live your life. This is something a lot of younger folks tend to fall into, since typically they live with family members who are of a competing faith, such as Christianity. Typically it's Christianity, but it's definitely not limited to Christianity. You can be, Muslim, atheist, which isn't a faith, it's just a lack of faith, but competing ideas, whether it's religious or irreligious. And you got the younger folk trying to figure themselves out and trying to make a serious commitment to a religion they feel speaks to them on a personal level. So that's where you have that real confusion. It's funny for me because when I was younger, funny enough, I didn't have that issue. And it really, because of that, like that solid foundation I had, being a younger person, it helped build me into the person that I am today, and it helped mature me by exposing me to hard truths at an early age. I know that sounds like a bad thing, but that forced maturity really helps you out later in life as you get older, because things that people are experiencing now, you've already experienced. Like one example is teaching me how to deal with family members of a different faith who, they'll question you or even outrightly just disrespect you because you're part of what they see as a quote unquote lesser faith. I already expected, like during that time, I expected for there to be problems in the household because of me converting out, but I never expected things to turn as hostile as they did at the time. But, I quickly adapted to the changing situation and was able to mitigate situations from interfering with my religious practice. It also helped me mature and solidified my confidence as a solitary Wiccan, then pagan, as I figured the need to have like an outdoor ritual space to celebrate the holidays and spend time with the gods when times at home were too rough to handle. Because at first I wanted to celebrate and have my celebrations, rituals, prayers, and all that stuff at the house, inside the house, but I was told, like legit, it's not happening in my fucking house. And I'm like, well, that sucks. So what am I going to do? So eventually, I went ahead and walked the woods trying to find a place, trying to figure out what to do. And eventually one day I walked through the woods and was like, why don't I just have it, in this place and that place? And I went from there as far as building up the ritual area and getting all the necessary items so that when I do celebrate the holidays or have a personal ritual that I want to have, I'll be able to. So, that's what was really the best part for me. Spending year after year doing that, it really attaches you to the faith, and because it consistently reinforces it. And even then, it got to the point where I couldn't even think about my childhood without thinking about paganism. And that's why it's so hard to not want to open the door when the faith knocks on your door again. It's like, you know who it is, you know what they want, figuratively speaking. You're like, maybe I should open this door. So the biggest thing is, what happens now? I can't just jump back into the faith as if I never left, because a lot of the knowledge and the comfort spent performing these religious activities, like writing script, ritual planning, ritual execution has been lost to me. And it's not that I can't get it back, but that I just currently don't have it. So I definitely have a long road ahead of me in order to get back into the faith to the point that I did before I left, and just pick up and get back to speed on that. Because like the main obstacles that I have to face is, I got to do the rededication ceremony, which is something that I have to do since I've been going for over 2 years now. After that, I need to find a new ritual area. Got to memorize correspondences again, celebrate the holidays. It's like a whole bunch of stuff. But the biggest thing is I can't get too ahead of myself because like having a dedication ceremony, the rededication ceremony, that's really something to do afterwards. Like I have a long time to go, and there's no point overwhelming myself with a plethora of tasks that need to be accomplished far ahead in the future. So to be honest, right now I need to take baby steps and go from there, taking the training wheels off as I get more advanced and more into the faith. So the biggest thing are like, what are the rules to it? What are the rules to me coming back into paganism? So the first baby step that I need to work on is daily praying, since that's really the most immediate way to reinforce that connection. Religion, again, as I stated before, it's a huge part of my identity. So it makes sense to go back to thinking of gods on a daily basis, like I did before, such as like before I eat food, waking up during the day, falling asleep during night, giving thanks when good things happen, and thanking the gods for the strength to overcome bad things when they eventually do happen. Another thing that I started doing was bringing my pentagram necklace with me every day as I work, play throughout the day. Like when I leave the house, I bring it with me, throw it in my wallet, or I put it into my pocket, or sometimes I'll even wear it depending on where I'm going. And it's really to remind you that the gods are with you and that you're always part of them, as you live your life in the world that they made to enjoy, to learn from, to make better, and for me to eventually, if I'm blessed with it, pass on to the next generation if I'm able to have my own kids. Speaking of the necklace, though, when I put on the necklace, I performed like a little ritual, which it's been a while, but I did it nonetheless. I performed a ritual where I spoke to the gods by candlelight in a darkened room, and I stated my intentions to remind myself of them, and that upon my day of conversion, which is the day that I first converted to paganism, decide if I want to do the actual dedication ritual and follow their path officially, or if I should just leave it all behind. And after that, I put on the necklace, make closing remarks, and I extinguish the flames, officiating my induction as a seeker of the divine, as I call it. In all honesty, I do pray and I really do hope that the divine guide me on a path that is most beneficial to them and to me, no matter the end goal, whether I stay with paganism or not. But it still remains to be seen whether or not I'll stay pagan or go on to other pastures. But, I have until my day of conversion to make that decision, which is like, 3-4 months from now. But in the meantime, there also needs to be some changes to my overall pagan practice. One of which, concerns this channel, since it's inextricably linked to my faith. One thing I'll be doing is cleaning up the older posts that I made when I was younger, because some of them have a good vibe to them and they explain the stance I had at the time very well, but I feel like there are a lot of others that have less quality to them and need to be improved upon in later video releases. Speaking of it, video releases, I do plan to ideally have 2 videos posted per week, Monday and Thursday morning at 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. 6 a.m. though, I know it's quite early. I decided to be early enough for folks to watch it before they start their day at work. Because after school, work, or what have you, a lot of folks just want to sleep or like play games, relax with their family and friends, or perform religious duties. So that's what I'll do for right now. I'll change the frequency as I need to, because I do have my own life and responsibilities to tend to. So like at the very, very least, I'll post once a week on Monday and at 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And if I have more time than expected, I'll be posting Thursday as well. So another improvement concerns data recording. Since now I live on my own, I don't have to worry about my parents or anything like that. I'm free to practice whatever I choose to, and I'm in a much better position to record and document my experiences without that feeling of, or what if they see it and they start oppressing me, or what if they just straight up destroy my religious works, because that has happened, like straight confiscation and destruction. You know, I touched on heightened documentation in a long ago video by having separate books that document specific things like my rituals, rules, practices, and whatnot. But I was never able to really expand upon it since I left the faith soon after making a video. But I definitely feel like that was a good route to go down. So the last thing for this channel will be book reviews. I know it's a touchy subject with copyright law, especially on YouTube. So I won't be doing like a read along because I don't need my channel getting shut down. But I will discuss my thoughts and opinions on each chapter of whatever book and give constructive criticism to the overall like delivery, practices talked about in the book, and just the overall message. Obviously, I'm not a professional at it, but since I'm just giving my opinion, you don't really need to be a professional. So look forward to that in the near future. So without further ado, guys, this is DeShadara with My Paganism Explained. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends, as well as commenting below. And make sure you hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button so you'll be alerted every time I release another video. So I'll see you guys later. God bless and goodbye.